Volkswagen hosted an event for journalists and investors recently, and while a big part of that was sharing information about the soon-to-be unveiled 2019 Jetta, the company also explained its near-future product plans. A significant part of those plans includes a pair of new crossover models, but it isn't abandoning its sedan and hatchback models anytime soon. One of those crossover models will be a 5-seat vehicle a bit smaller than Atlas. Volkswagen of America President and CEO Heinrich Wobken described it as coupe-like. So imagine something to compete with the likes of a Nissan Murano, Ford Edge and Hyundai Santa Fe Sport, but possibly with styling inspired by things like the Mercedes GLC Coupe and BMW X6. The other crossover will slot in below the long-wheelbase Tiguan, which is the only version we get in the US, but the company didn't provide any other details about it. There's a very clear reason why Volkswagen is planning on expanding crossover offerings, and it's because they sell so well. Wobken showed during his presentation that VW's car sales have only increased 1% year-to-date, whereas light truck sales increased a whopping 51%, with much credit going to the new Atlas and Tiguan. If that's not an obvious sign crossovers are where the market is going, nothing is. Ford has told suppliers it plans to shift production of midsize Fusion and Mondeo sedans out of Mexico and Spain in 2020 and move it to China, 3 sources said on Wednesday. The automaker said it will not ship those cars from China to the United States and Europe. Ford did not address the future of the plants in Hermosillo, Mexico and Valencia, Spain that currently build midsize sedans for the North American and European markets respectively. Ford said last month it would invest more than €750 million, $887 million, in Valencia to produce a new generation of its Kuga sport utility vehicle. Recent Ford documents shared with suppliers show the automaker plans to shift some Focus and Mondeo production to China and no longer list Hermosillo and Valencia as production sites, according to sources familiar with the company's plans. Ford said in a statement, "We have no plans to export the next generation Fusion, Mondeo from China to North America and Europe. Fusion, Mondeo are an important part of the Ford car lineup. We will have more information to share about the next Fusion, Mondeo at a later date." Ford Chief Executive Officer Jim Hackett has taken a series of steps to cut the automaker's production costs and shift the company's product lineup away from sedans toward sport utility and crossover vehicles, especially in North America. Fusion sales in the United States are down 22% this year, while Mondeo sales in Europe are down 21%. Both models are expected to be redesigned in mid to late 2020 when Ford plans to shift production to Chongqing to a joint venture plant operated with Ford's Chinese partner Changan Automobile Group, according to sources connected to Ford's component suppliers who are familiar with the automaker's future production plans. Ford in June said it would shift some production of its Focus small car from Mexico to China and import the vehicles to the United States. Ford's latest moves could blunt U.S. President Donald Trump's threats to repeal or revamp the North American Free Trade Agreement. As with the Focus move, the decision to build the Fusion in China also signals a shift in strategy at Ford, which is responding to dwindling U.S. consumer demand for passenger cars in favor of more expensive and more profitable trucks and SUVs. Last week Ford said it plans to relocate production of a future battery electric vehicle to Cuautitlán, Mexico in 2020 to free up capacity at its Flat Rock, Michigan plant to build self-driving vehicles in 2021.